In today's video, we're going to discuss and review the brand new 8-inch Elvira Mistress of the Dark figure from Neca. Welcome back to the Swearwolves. I'm Bret. If you are a returning subscriber, I just want to say thank you for coming back. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. If you enjoy this sort of content, please consider clicking both that subscribe button as well as that notification bell below. We are the Swearwolves, a couple of horror fans and collectors who review anything and everything we get that is horror related, from action figures and toys to soundtracks, video games, various collectibles, you name it. And today, I'm very excited to be talking about this brand new Elvira Mistress of the Dark figure from Neca. Now, this is part of the Neca/Target Haulathon that is going on right now, which they're releasing new figures every week for 4 weeks. Starting March 18th is when it started, and it's extending then into April. Every Friday, new figures will be released, but sometimes, most of the time, Target puts them out early. Now, there are two versions of this figure. As you can see right here, this is the Signature Edition Elvira, and this is the regular or Unpleasant Dreams version. I don't know what they're calling it. The Signature Edition, besides just saying Signature Edition, and I believe having an autograph from Cassandra Peterson or Elvira inside, costs more than this one, about 3 times as much more actually. This is $100, this is about $35. Nothing else is different from these figures. Like, the figure is the exact same. So if you're a person who's like, I'm gonna open my figures, I don't care, get this one. If you're a person who's a collector and you're collecting for value or potential value going up, the Signature Edition might be the one to get right now, because there is only a limited amount of these. From what I have read online, they're only releasing 1 per store per week. I don't know if that's going to continue. I know there's a limited quantity of these. These are not as rare from what I've heard, but they still are only releasing these in limited quantities as well right now. These probably won't go up in value as much as this one will. Let's go ahead and talk about the boxes. I'm going to start with this one. I don't think there's a big difference between the boxes, so we'll probably just focus on this one. As you can see, it says Unpleasant Dreams at the top, and we have Elvira in this nice window packaging right here. There's a picture of Elvira right there. It says Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Elvira, 40 years. It's hard to believe, but yes, she's been around as a character for 40 years. On the side, we got a picture of the real Elvira right there, and then the figure down below. And on the back, it says Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. When you hear the name Elvira, only one person comes to mind. Horror icon and quintessential symbol of all things spooky, the one and only Mistress of the Dark. And then there's, of course, a picture of the figure right there, various different poses, all that good stuff. At the bottom, it says includes chalice, dagger, skull candle, and interchangeable heads. So we got a few accessories with this figure. Other side, again, Elvira, picture of the figure, and back around to the front. Let's look at the Signature Edition. The finish might be a little bit more matte finish than that one on the box. The sides look the same, and the back looks the same and says the same. Everything is pretty much the same on this. As I stated before, only thing that's really different is the price and the fact that there's an autograph from Elvira herself inside. I am not going to open this one for probably obvious reasons. I'm going to keep that one set aside, but I am going to open this one. So why don't we go ahead and open the figure up, take a look at it, and give it a proper review. All right, I got the figure open, and before we get to the figure itself, let's go ahead and talk about the accessories that came with this. Now, we did get a few accessories, so let's go ahead and talk about them. First things first, we got this dagger. Now, this dagger, of course, Elvira wears on her belt, more like a belt buckle. You can kind of see it right there, and it's just a small little dagger. Not a lot to this, but there is some good detail. I mean, you can see how tiny this is. That'll go on her belt when I put it on there. This is her chalice that has kind of a potion coming out of it. Kind of cool. Looks like some fumes. Gives a little bit of action to that. And you can see the detail that went into this chalice here. Looks like faces on the side, or skull faces, and maybe a snake or a serpent crawling around it with those emeralds at the base of the chalice. And of course the green liquid coming out. A spiderweb looking design at the bottom. So this looks really cool, actually. I dig the action of the fumes coming out of the chalice. I think that adds a little bit of movement to the accessory. And then we got this skull head candle holder, which I think just looks fantastic. You have this gnarly looking skull with the eyeball popping out, and then you have the snake crawling through the mouth, underneath the skull, and around through the top of the head. You have these 2 candles right here with the wax melting down on top of the skull, And the skull still has some hair, creeps out of the sides, and then up underneath there's a spider crawling on him. This just looks really gnarly. It looks really awesome. I love this. I love this accessory. I think it's one of the best accessories I've seen from Neca in a long time. And then finally we have this alternate head here, and this is the winking Elvira. And you can see the detail and the likeness right there of Cassandra Peterson as the character. Her mouth is open and she's giving a wink. We have this long hair, this soft rubber goes down, lots of detail in the hair. What is this, a beehive kind of hairdo? Big hair, it's just big hair. Lots of hairspray goes into this. So that alternate head looks cool, but I think I would stay with the standard head that comes with it. Neca also did include a stand with this figure, so that was nice. I mean, Elvira does have high heels on, so maybe that's why they included a stand to help her balance a little bit better. Let's go ahead, before we get into the details of the figure, we'll talk about the articulation. Now we do have a head that's on a ball. It goes left and right, up and down. Not too much up. I mean, the hair is kind of blocking that from happening in the back, but she definitely goes down and she can look left and right in all sorts of different directions. Her arm has a ball joint right there, causes it to go out and then forward and back. She has elbow joint, and then at the wrist it turns and has a hinge as well, so it can bend at the wrist. Her waist does turn left and right and bends forward and backward if need be. Her hips, the legs can go out and then back and then forward, and they also bend at the knee and turn and bend at the ankle right here. Then they can turn in and out as well. And then, like I did say, she's on high heels, so the surface area she has to balance on is quite small. Let's go ahead and talk about the details. Now, I think this likeness is phenomenal. This looks just like Elvira to me. It looks just like her. The hair looks great. It's got this flowing black hair. It just looks awesome. And then the makeup and just the likeness right there. I'll put a picture of Elvira right here and we can compare the two, but it looks really good. And then of course she's wearing this cloth. This is an 8-inch figure from Neca, so it's all cloth goods. She has her belt, which of course we will stick the dagger in for the belt, and the belt wraps around. Looks like it probably attaches right up here, and it is Velcro, so it could be taken off if you wanted to take it off. The dress does have a slit here revealing her leg, which it looks like has a pattern sprayed onto it, so it looks like she's wearing nylons, and that's on both legs. And then she has these high heels that are not removable, that are part of her feet at the bottom. So there are peg holes at the bottom of the feet. You can just put that in there. And then she can stand pretty easily. All in all, the figure looks really great with the articulation and everything. And I'm so happy with this figure. When Neca announced this figure, I was like, this is one that I want to have, and I'm glad that I found both versions of it. Why don't I go ahead and pose her, how I'm going to have her displayed, and we'll be right back for my final review. All right, I got the figure posed how I'm going to have her displayed, and I couldn't be happier with this figure. I just absolutely love her. I have her holding the chalice there. There's the dagger in her belt, and got this little candle guy. I can't forget him, my favorite accessory. Put that right down there at her feet. All in all, I think this figure is, of course, 5 out of 5 Pamela Voorhees Heads. I just love it. There's nothing else that I can say about it. So I highly recommend, if you're a fan of Elvira, if you're a fan of horror, if you're a fan of Neca, go ahead and pick up one of these figures if you can find it at your local Target. If you have any thoughts on this review, please leave a comment down below. And if you haven't yet subscribed and you feel so inclined, please go ahead and click that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. We are the Swearwolves, and we have a weekly podcast in which we review horror movies. So if you enjoy podcasts, please check us out by searching for The Swearwolves wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can visit our website at theswearwolves.com. So, for The Swearwolves, I'm Bret.